Hello everybody and thanks for watching. I am finally putting together the rest of this Harbor Freight greenhouse. So this is going to be the last video in the build series. Pretty much got everything together. I left off at halfway through step 9, which is basically the roof framing. So let me get on over there. So I was calling it step 9.5 because I didn't finish getting all the supports in to finish step 9 in the last video. So a lot of that was just the same thing as the sidewalls. The number 30s, those go with the arrows pointing into the corners. And on all of the support trusses going up, again, just make sure you're putting all the bolts and everything in. They don't really do a great job showing you, but it actually says, like right here, we got 66, 66, and 65. So at the top, you need to have a 65 because it's going to catch this number 42 here. And then you need the 66 for each of these number 30s where they cross over. So you want to load all of those bolts into this truss before you install that thing. I spent a lot of time in general on this build going back and putting bolts in these things because I wasn't paying attention to the instructions. For those of you who are really good at reading the instructions and following along, you're probably going to find this to be a tedious build and you'll spend a lot of time reading the instructions. And for those of you who are like me, ooh, pretty picture. Yeah, no, that's probably not going to work. You're going to need to follow the instructions. It's going to save you a lot of time. This whole project's been one step forward, two steps back, I swear. Yeah, so getting on with it. From the inside, there are those number 30s, and you can kind of see there's the number 42 underneath the window there. I've already gone ahead and paneled this whole thing out for the most part. Just want to show you some of the stuff that gets a little bit more complicated. I'm hoping maybe some color pictures from a different angle will help if you need to reference something going back through this. There's these little clips. They're kind of the only thing that hold these bottom panels on. There's a little S-shaped clip that hangs on there. So mostly the panels were pretty straightforward. There's the pile of trash, and that's from taking all the film off of the panels. It's not all of it, but I will say that the box that this greenhouse came in barely fit in the back of my Ford Expedition, and that was with leaving the tailgate up. So you're gonna have this and some big boxes to throw away. Just something to consider when starting this project, because it's gonna be a good bit of waste going on. So on the instructions, the next thing going is the window. And so I've got one window left to hang and a door. So I've got one door already installed, one door to hang. I've already kind of got it pre-laid out, and then in that process on the doors we'll be putting in the little spring clips for the panel retainers. So going back through the instructions here, here's how to build the windows. And again, I'll show you here in just a few minutes, going over each of these. There's the door. And the panels. And then it's done. So let's start with the window. So here's the three sides of the window. It's kind of the first step on assembly, is get these three pieces together. So I've got them together, and then install the window. so that's what it took to get it set into the slots. That was irritating. Alright, so this piece. The instructions say to push these through, but I don't think that that's correct. These bolts, it's not using long enough bolts to do that because it's using the shorter ones. So instead of pushing them through the plastic to get them in here, I'm just going to slip them in through the side. And I guess it would probably have been easier to put the nuts and bolts on before you lose them, before you put the plastic in. Alright, so now get these good and tight. Alright, so there's the window panel. Now I just need to put the hinge on. Alright, so here I've got piece number 42, and got the little window latch on here. So this piece goes onto these bolts. And I can't really move the camera around to show you the best way to do this, but there's these little tabs here, and they've got to kind of hook into the rail. So if you get one side in, then pivot the other, and just kind of slide it down into place. Then use this, I'm doing this after I've put the roof panel on, and I found that it lines up better if you do that, because then you just go till the roof panel just touches this top lip. After I tighten this down, I'll give you that view. Got it all the way down. This top lip's touching to the same to the other end. It overlaps all the way up here to this lip. And the same thing there. Now the window needs to go on. So there's a couple of different ways to put the window on. The way the instruction says is the easiest, but not always possible. Do this one-handed while holding the window. Put our camera here. Okay, so I think I got it latched on there. You see how I just kind of point it kind of upwards. They say ground level, but I found that I had to go a bit higher to get it to fully seat in. And then it just drops on through. Once you got it seated, you can kind of slide it down the track. Now, if you have a problem getting it seated, I just went down. This thing is just not focusing. There we go. I just go down to the very end there and slide it all the way through. But once you get it in place, it's easy to adjust it. Let that close down. Just put your latch in there. Latches don't do a very good job. I was thinking about maybe bungee cording. Putting a bungee cord from that one to this one to hold them shut, and then again from that one to that one. But that's the windows, and now to hang the door. Alright, so we have pieces 34 and 35. They just kind of fit together. Line up the holes and bolt them together. And then the bolt's going from the or I guess you can't tell which one's outside or inside yet, but. here's a closer look at the way, this is the top of the door. And then down here at the bottom of the door, we got these little black plastic clips that screw in. The screw actually goes into the plastic clip. Yeah, that fits just into the bottom track. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this outside. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hook the first wheel on the top. And then line that plastic clip in on the bottom. Or not. And with that, greenhouse is complete. I gotta go through and tighten up all the bolts. I've left everything kind of just hand tight for now until I got it assembled. There was some pushing and pulling on corners, especially with how long this project took for me. This thing's frame sat out here for a month without getting touched, so the wind had kind of moved things around, but it is finally up, and now I get to start filling it. So I will, I'll probably do another video here in the next week or two once I get some plants moved in there and all the trash and the mess cleaned up, and kind of go over what I think of the Harbor Freight greenhouse. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.